Hi everybody, it's Anne here from annshappystampers.co.uk and I'm just back with another tutorial. Now, first of all, I'm quite impressed with this little item that I've came up with today, and I hope you are too. And what it is this gorgeous little suitcase. Now, I've made this one, well, it's geared at a male gift box really, because I've had a few people ask us to do some male things and like a male suitcase, and I came up with this and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's not the quickest thing to make, but it isn't hard, and to be honest, apart from card and paper, you don't really need a lot else. That's basically what it's made of, just card and paper, and it's all reinforced as well, so you know it's really sturdy. There's no gaping or anything like that. And I've got little Velcro dots on here, and it just opens up. I've popped a little pocket inside there, and like I say, it's all reinforced inside, so like I say, it's really strong, and I just think it's gorgeous, and that's what I'm going to show you how to make. Okay, now again, I'm going to gear it towards a male gift box, and we're going to do it in some current stuff because this is retired DSP. So I'm just going to go through each bit at a time. So to construct the case, you're going to need 2 pieces of A4 cardstock. I'm using basic black, and we're just going to jump straight in and score them, and they're both going to be done in exactly the same way. Okay, so pop it in on the long side, and what you want to do is score it at 1.5 and 3 inches on both of the long sides. So 1.5 and 3 inches, which is 3.8 and 7.6 centimeters. Turn it round so the score's on the right now, and do the same again, 1.5 and 3 inches. Okay, turn it to the short side, and what we're going to do here is make your first score again at 1.5 inches, then again at 3 inches. Turn it round like we did the others just before, so the scores are on the right, but this time all you're going to score at is 1.5. Okay, so that's what you should have, and exactly the same with this piece as well. So long side, 1.5 and 3 inches, turn it round, 1.5 and 3. Now to the short side, so the first score is 1.5, 3. Turn it to the right so the scores are on the right, but then just score this bit at 1.5. Alright, and that's what you should have. And again, I'm sure I said it's 3.8 and 7.6 centimeters. So, right, I'm going to put one piece together because, like I say, they're both going to be exactly the same. You're going to do it all in the same way because we're going to have some cutting and stuff to do. So, first of all, I'm just going to burnish all these score lines. Okay, now what you need to just take note of is you've got your 2 score lines at the front and your 1 score line at the back. The 1 score line is going to be the back of the case, and this is going to be the front of the case, because that's so it's reinforced. Okay, so take your scissors and the bit where you've got your 2 score lines and 4 boxes in the left and right corner, what you're going to do is just cut straight up here, remove the 2 bottom squares, so you've got that, then remove the left hand square, so you should end up with that. Okay, and then take a little wedge out of this tab to create a tab on in, and then just a little piece off there. Okay, and do the same here, up here, remove the 2 bottom squares, remove the outside square, and then turn this into a little tab and remove that. Okay, so that's what you should have, and then turn it round so you've got your 1 score line and 2 little boxes. And all we're going to do for this is basically just cut up like we did before. Okay, cut up this score line as well. Okay, so you've got 2 little boxes, and just remove the end box again. So you should have 1 little square left, and then make a tab out of this one. Okay, and do the same on this side. Okay, so that is what you're going to do to both of the pieces. Now, what I'm going to do now is I've got the DSP, and what you're going to need to do the for the DSP is I'm also using this lovely designer series paper from Warmth and Cheer. It's a lovely little stack actually. There's some really nice little Christmassy papers in, but not just Christmas papers as well, hence why I'm using this, because I think this is a nice kind of mail paper. Now on this case I didn't put the DSP on the bottom. I wish I had now, but never mind. So we are going to do it with this one because I think it would look better. So what you're going to need is 2 pieces measuring 5.5 by 3.5 or 14 centimeters by 9 centimeters, and they're going to be for your top and your bottom of your case. You're going to need 4 pieces measuring 5.5 by 1.25 or 14 centimeters by 3.2, and they are going to go just on there like that, and then you've got 2 left for your other piece. And then 4 pieces measuring 3.5 by 1.25 or 9 centimeters by 3.2, and they are just going to go there, and then you've got 2 left for the other piece. So that's what we need to do. Stick this down like this. I'll do that and then I'll be back when it's done, but I'm going to do it on both pieces because obviously you're just going to recreate this exactly on the other piece. So I'll be back when I've done that. Okay everyone, I'm back. So what you should have now is your 2 pieces, 2 identical pieces. I've just used Tombow to glue the DSP on, and you need to put the tape in the same place on both of them. So on the outside you need to put it on your little flaps, then turn it over, and you need to put a piece down the two small score line, two small rectangles on the end piece here, but leave this what will be the back of the case. Don't put anything on there. Same on the other side, don't put anything on there. So that's where you need to put your tape, and we're gonna start and get these put together. So I want to peel the bit off the flaps first, and I'm just using this Sticks 2 tape, which is really strong, and like I say, it's called Sticks 2, and if you go onto their website, they've actually got an offer on for this month, September, where it's everything's free delivery, and I mean it's only a couple of pound and it's fantastic. I really recommend it for, you know, like 3D project bags and boxes and things, where, because I mean you don't want to, you've put all this work in them, you don't want them coming apart. So the tape's been a pain. Okay, so the last one, if I can get the backing off, that is. Okay, so what we're going to do is, this will be the front of our box. So we're just going to basically fold the tabs round like we would any normal box, really, and stick them together. Oh damn, stuck it in the wrong place. You don't have much manoeuvrability with this tape, really. Once it's down, it's down. Okay, so that is what you should have. Okay, and then what you want to do now is peel the tape off the sides. If I can get it off. Oh, come on. It's going to be a right nightmare. It would be, wouldn't it? Oh, honestly, come on. That's it. And then you're going to just basically fold this down and burnish that, and that is what is going to reinforce your little suitcase. Okay, same with this one. Stick that down and burnish it, and then same with this one. Peel that off and just fold that over as well and burnish that down. And like I say, that is going to be, you know, a really strong little box. Same with this one. We'll put this together. Make sure these are pressed down. I've tried to do as much, you know, prep as I can really without so I can show you how it's done, but you know, I don't want the video to drag on for ages. I mean, like I said before, it's not the quickest you know, thing to make, but you know, apart from paper and card, you don't really need a lot, and you know, you've got, I think, a project that's definitely got that wow factor. So again, we're just going to fold them over like so. Okay, and then peel the backing off the sides. Stick the side down. Okay, and then this last one here, and just give them all a good going over with your bone folder. Right, so now you should have, and just remember, the piece that isn't reinforced is the back piece, because it's going to get reinforced when we join it together, but you know, that's what you want to remember, that the piece that isn't doubled over is the back. So that's how the case is going to be, like this. Now, to join it together, you're going to need a piece of card which is 5 3/4 by 1.5 inches, or 14.6 by 3.8 centimeters. Get your scoreboard, and basically all you want to do on the short side is just score it at 3/4 of an inch. Okay. And just fold and burnish it, and then we want some tape down both either side of the score line. You want to put tape down there. Okay, like so. Just burnish that down, and then when the lid and the base go together, basically the back is just going to go over like that, and that score line is going to give you the hinge. Now what I like to do is just fold this in half again, and just take just a little wedge out of the side like that, so when you open it you'll have that, and that just stops it from hanging over the sides, basically like that. Okay, just checking, yeah, that should be fine. Right, so what I like to do is, I know that we need the score line kind of in the middle, so I'm actually just gonna take those little pointy corners off just to help it fit a bit better. So I'm going to peel the backing off one of the pieces of tape, and knowing that that's the back, to help us get it on, I'm going to pop the bit with the backing still on, roughly where I know these score lines meet together, and then I'm just going to turn it over and attach that to there. Okay, and then open it out and peel the tape off here, and then take the lid of the box, or whichever bit you have, and then basically just get them together so they're nice and even, and then just press that one on there, and then just give that a press down, and then now you have your opening and closing case. Okay, like I say, it's not hard, you just have to take your time, you know, and I think it's fantastic. Now what we need for our little handles, our little straps, is for, I'll do the bottom ones first. So the bottom straps you need 2 pieces which measure 1 inch by 6 3/4 or 2.5 by 17.1 centimeters, and you want to score them on the long side at 1.5 and 5 1/4. So I haven't scored this one, so we'll do this one together. So 1.5 inches and 5 1/4. Okay, and these 2 straps are going to be for the bottom of the base of the case. So small, you've got like a, I'm not sure if they're the same size, but basically that is going to go round there, that is going to stick to there, and then on the back it's going to go just stick on there like that. Okay, so I'm going to stick one of each on, and then I'll do the rest off camera because I don't want, like I say, I want to try and keep this as quick as I can. So peel the tape off, and then taking what will be the bottom, so I would say probably come in about from the edge about 3/4 of an inch. So stick that there, then it will go round the back, underneath I mean, and then just stick that to there. And there's your first bottom strap. So you need to do that twice, do that again on the other side, and then the top straps, this needs to measure 1 inches, so 1 by 8 inches or 2.5 by 20.3 centimeters, and you need to score these at 1.5 and 5/8 of an inch. Now you've got a small section where you've scored and a longer one. The longer one is for this bit of the front of your case. Yeah, so you don't want to stick this down, otherwise you won't be able to open the case. So only put the tape on these bits here. So I'm going to stick this down, and then I'm going to get the other opposite side handles on off camera. Okay, so the way I put these ones on is I just take the front, and I know that the longer piece doesn't want to stick down because I haven't got tape on it, and just level it up with this bottom strap. Okay, So I know I want it roughly about there. And then just stick this one down as well. Try and get it nice and straight across the top, and turn it over and down the back, and they should match up quite well. Okay, and you want to just repeat that on the other side. So I'm going to do that and I'll be back when it's done. Okay everyone, I have stuck the straps on both sides now, and all I've done is I've added a couple of little Velcro dots so that now the case stays nice and closed. Okay, and you could use magnets if you wanted, but I thought, you know, Velcro dots are just as good. Now we need to create a handle, and I've got a piece of card which is 6 1/4 inches by 3/4 of an inch, or 16 centimeters by 2 centimeters, and all you want to do is pop it in on the long side and score 1 inch, turn it round and score 1 inch again, or 2.5 centimeters, and then, is that right, 2.5 or 5 centimeters? 5 centimeters I think, yeah. My mind's gone blank. No, 2.5 centimeters, yeah, or 1 inch. And then just take your bone folder and just curl the handle, and it'll, you know, it'll stick like that. And you need to put tape on the 2 reverse bits here, and we're going to stick this handle down. Oh, honestly, this tape, it's really sticky, but this backing just has been a bit of a nightmare. Right, so goodness me, come on. Okay, so what I do is just take the bag and I want to pop them, the sticky bits here, underneath the handle, so the handle kind of hides it, you see. So I'm just going to really eyeball it, to be honest, and just stick it under the handle like there. Okay, and then same, open the handle, and just don't fully stick it down until you're happy with the position, which I think that looks okay to me. That's it. And now you've got a cute little handle for your little case. Now you don't have to do this bit, but I did. I cut a piece of crumb cake at 4.5 by 2 inches, or 11.4 by 5 centimeters, and I just cut a little thing out with a 1-inch circle punch. And to make the stitching, I just got like a black pen and just did some 4 stitching and some tape on 3 sides. And I'm going to stick this on the inside of the case because I think it just adds, you know, like a nice little effect. And I'm just going to put it on the lid, just get it roughly in the middle, and there we go. It creates a nice little pocket effect. And then to get those little bits, protector things on the side, it's dead easy. All what you're going to need to do that is you're going to need 8 2-inch circles. Just cut 8 out with a 2-inch hole punch, or you know, a 2-inch framelit, whatever you've got. And what you need to do is pop them in your scoreboard. Now I know this circle is 2 inches, yeah, So all I'm going to do is butt it up to the side and the top, and I'm going to score it at 1 inch, and that's going to give me a score down the middle. Then I'm going to turn it on its side, get this score line as straight as I can, and butt that back up, okay, and try and get that as straight as you can. If you look down here at 1 inch, you can see that it should be kind of level with that. Butt it up at the side and the top and just score again at 1, and that will give you that, which will give you the middle of your circle. And then just give it a fold and burnish, and then take your scissors, so you'll have that now. All you need to do for every single one of them is just remove one of the corners, one of the quarters, so you will end up with that shape, okay? And then basically all you do is take your little case, and then they fold up like this, and you can just glue them onto your little case, and just whichever way you can have the join at the bottom or the side. And you need to do, like I say, 8 of them for all of the corners. So I'll get all them stuck on and I'll be back when it's done. Okay, I'm back everyone. Now I've made a bit of a boo-boo here. What you need to do is these little corner pieces here, you need to stick these on before you put your straps on, okay? That's what I did with the other one. Now with this one I haven't, so when you open it, can you see? You can't get that totally open. You can, but it just doesn't look as good. So put them on before you put the straps on. Put the straps on last, okay? All I've done here is just some little gold cutouts. I've just stuck them down with some glue dots, okay? And that is basically your little suitcase, which, you know, again, I just think it looks fab. Now you could put some full white stitching on with a white gel pen if you wanted to. I did on the other one, but I'm not going to on this one. And the last thing I've got is a bit of crumb cake. I just used the tag topper punch, and I just put again some black faux stitching on with a pen. And I'm going to stamp a little sentiment from Thoughtful Banners, and I'm just using thank you and this one here, and I'm just going to use Memento ink, and I'm going to stamp this onto Whisper White, okay, and the little thank you, I'm just going to stamp that inside, and just using the Duet Banner punch, I'm going to punch it out. Okay, and I'm going to stick that on to my little tag with just a couple of these little dimensionals. Now I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's not the quickest video, you know, it does take a bit of time to put it together, but you know, it's not hard. And I mean, like I say, you don't need an awful lot to put it together. It's mainly just card and paper and tape and stuff. So I'm going to tie this round the little handle, and I think it's just a fantastic little gift for somebody, and you can fit quite a lot in these. I'm going to give you the measurements of when it's made, the size of it, because it is quite a good size. I might make a smaller one as well next week. Maybe it's a little, like a lady's smaller one. And there's the little tag. So yeah, what does it measure when it's made? So it is approximately 6 inches long 3¼ inches deep. Yep, so it's 3¼ inches tall, and yeah, 5¾ inches long. So I hope you enjoyed it. I just think it's fantastic inside. Like I say, you can fit quite a lot. I mean, a Memento ink pad in there, you know, there's still room. So I just think it's fantastic. I'm really, really chuffed I came up with this. I've been working on this for a couple of days now. So, and there's the original one I made, which, as you can see, what I was saying about them, put them on before you put the straps on, okay? Otherwise it'll be like that and it's not the best. So all the details will be on my blog. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you'd like to purchase any products, I'd love to have you custom. So thanks for watching, take care, bye for now.